If you would advise somebody to learn something during this MCO time, what would you advise them?
Me, Taco, for me, it's always good to reflect and understand yourself a bit more, But, I think being for real estate, I think there's two key things, right? Just knowing how to really take this time to know how to sell, go learn how to sell, go pick up a book on that. Negotiations, don't get sucked into, the chase of it, because we do know people who, it's not a bad thing, but people do get sucked into it and then they burn out, So idea is kind of like personal development and sales and knowing how to sustain yourself for the long run. So start with those two things and then, be mindful of your routine right now. It's completely changed up. You're getting a lot less physical activity, which means you should be exercising every day or even twice a day, but 20 minutes, 30 minutes, so that you can, keep your body in shape. Yeah. In fact, one workout a day is probably not enough now, because if you think about it, like you said, Taco, our step count is reduced by like 80-90%.
Yeah.
Like a really, really big thing, right? Which I recently learned, but also forgot over the past couple of weeks. And it's basically this: rest is a state of mind. Because what I mean by that is that it's like this, right? If you're running and then you decide to walk, that's you resting. If you're walking, you decide to stand still, that's you resting, right? But the idea now is just knowing how to, actively to slow down your mind so that, you can kind of pace yourself and keep going, right? So what I realized about myself over the past couple of weeks is that because we had so much change, right, Taco? We had all these lives and stuff like that. And I realized that I wasn't switching off up here, and I think it just didn't help. I was at home. I was always just thinking about I forgot how to switch off over the past couple of weeks. Yeah. So, that was a big thing.
Usually the difference is that people go through different crises in their life individually, right? Or maybe as a couple or maybe as a family, right? But never are we going through a crisis globally at the same time, right? And the cool thing about that is as you go through it globally through a crisis, now you see that different people react to it very differently, right? I see 4 types of people right now, right? First of all, you have like these people that completely freeze up. They completely freeze. They're like, they do nothing, right? They're completely stuck now. They just don't know what's happening, right? Then you have the second group of people. These are what I like to call Alex, you and I always talk about above the line, below the line, right? These are the excuse, blame, and denial people, right? These are either people that say, I cannot do this because of Corona. I cannot do this because of this. I cannot do this because of this. These people, they kind of like do nothing because they blame everything on a world crisis right now. Then you have the third type of person, right? These are the people that accept the crisis, they acknowledge it, and they want to do something, but they simply don't know what to do because they find the crisis complicated. They're like, I want to do something, but I just don't know what to do. I think that is a big group of people that are in our 5-day challenge, right? These are people that say, I want to do something. I want to take action. I want to work hard, but I just don't know what to do right now, right? I just don't have the knowledge, or I don't have the tools to do something right now. And then you have the fourth group, and these are people that went through a few crises already, right? And they went through individual crises, they went through big crises, and they are basically already trained for this kind of stuff, right? They say, okay, crisis, shift, boom, let's go, right? Let's go, like, let's go. Let's like this crisis is pressing me down and I'm just bouncing it back up into the sky again, right? There's no good or bad, right? I don't think the world is as simple as good and bad, and that is wrong and that is right. But I do believe that the way forward is to push people from the first one I mentioned, from freeze mode to taking action mode. The faster we as a global humanity, as a global group, start taking action again, the faster we will recover out of this crisis.
It's a first for everyone, technically, right? I think a lot of people are comparing this to the Great Depression in 1928. When everything went down, big recession, right?
I do understand that people like to compare because we relate to past experiences, right? So we love to compare. But I think it's hard to compare to a Great Depression, right? I mean, we have so many things right now that we didn't have back then, right? I even hear people say on the news, right? This is like, this is as bad as it could get as the Second World War. Are you crazy? Yeah. In the Second World War, people were throwing hand grenades and shooting with bullets. It's nothing compared with the Second World War. We are way better off than the Second World War. It's not even close to the Second World War, I mean, that was so much worse, We were going through an MCO time of 3 weeks, right? If you go to Europe and Asia, we were for war for like most countries around 5 years. How can you compare that with the Second World War? And also the Great Depression, right? The Great Depression became a depression is because governments were not able to catch a crisis. But we learned so much since then, right? I think in the Great Depression, the overall global wealth range dropped by about 80%, right? Now we're simply getting into a crisis because things are not moving. But we already know that things will get moving again. We just have to contain it as fast as possible, right? Yeah. So, but the question is, once we get moving again, how fast can we re-accelerate that movement again, right? The faster we can get that up, the faster we will get into a recovery time.
So that that's the beautiful thing about having partners, everybody. So yeah, I got a lot of love for my partner here. Oh yeah, a lot of love.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.